Hello, I'm Abhinav Jindal, and welcome back to It's Wednesday, That's Why, a podcast made to inspire people by learning from other people's stories, understanding what drives them, why we do stuff that we do, and what stands other humans than the humans that achieve and go above and beyond to create something truly magnificent. Today on the hot seat, we have Balaji, a brand strategist and design coach. Balaji is the founder of Balaji on Brand. And through the power of leveraging the power of content and design, he helps people establish a personal brand on social media. Hi, Balaji. Welcome here to It's Wednesday. That's why. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Abhinav. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. I've known you for quite a while, and I'm really amazed and excited to be a part of this today.
Well, I'm excited to have you here. It's since the time I've started this, I've been thinking of all the people I've met in the past 3 years, and I'm like, oh my God, these are such a good people to bring on the podcast and for them to ask questions so that they can share the story with the word to inspire people. So thank you here for coming today.
Pleasure.
Yeah, let's start by understanding more about what you do.
Sure. So I help coaches, consultants, realtors, and entrepreneurs who are looking to build a personal brand, leveraging content and design. So content has become the number one driver to build a personal brand because content helps build authority, credibility, consistency, and relatability with the audience. And so content is value. So value tends to get lost in the design phase
Mm-hmm.
because people are heavily distracted in the world we live in today. So it's content hierarchy, visual identity, visual design that we have to work towards making it as effortless as possible for people to consume that value. And that's where I come in and I help people who I help develop a strategy first, and then the content strategy, and then we get into the creative part of it and create an identity that is truly recognizable going forward.
That is amazing. What's your story? How did you end up doing this?
So it was one point in time where I moved to Canada about 5 years ago. I was looking to see what is the one thing that I want to do, the kind of the ikigai, I would say.
I think it's very important to be that.
Yes, it did take a little while to figure that out.
Yes.
Because, and what I did was I went back and saw what I previously did in my 10-year career before that. So the one common thread was I was generally a very creative person, and all that I was doing was from my career, starting from Deloitte, was more of trying to tell visual stories, trying to create intelligence over information. Because information is everywhere. How you create the intelligence so that people can consume it in more interesting ways has always been my forte, and that's been a keen interest that I've always had. And I've also had worked on projects for over a decade there.
Yeah.
And it was in the pandemic time where more individuals wanted to become entrepreneurs, and it was the right time to start off helping people like that. It just started off with just helping people, and then I got pretty serious about it, and the ikigai found whatever needed to be directed. And then have been doing this for over 2.5 years now, and I've been getting better and better every few months.
You said, the ikigai found. What was that journey of finding, and what did you do in order to find and say, this is the one thing that I really like to
do? It's a great question. So I was at a point in time, I was having another job at the point, and few of my friends reached out to me for a certain project. It just started off helping them on that, and it turned out to be really successful for them and myself.
Yeah.
So that's when the light bulb moment, and then I thought, okay, this is what I really enjoy doing it in spite of me being busy in the other job. And that's when I thought, why not I take this up very seriously, and then that's how I did the whole ikigai thing. And I think I watched a video of Chris Do clearly explaining this, and in about, I think, a couple of weeks, I think I was pretty clear of this is exactly what I wanted to do. And that project was so successful because you need a success bandwagon for you to validate and also decide this is the route that you want to go in. And that luckily happened for me, and then I picked it up.
So, when you had that moment of realization, this is what I want to do, I want to know if there were any second guesses at that point.
I would say not at that point. A few months later, you start off with a lot of good speed, Godspeed,
Yes.
and all of that, and then reality sometimes comes at you.
Always, I think.
Always, absolutely.
And then you start seeing the challenges and the
Right,
hurdles.
right. But it was a pandemic time where everything was low for everybody. So
Yes.
it was not, my story didn't stick out too much into my head, and didn't and it wasn't becoming too questionable. Everything was slowed down, which is
Yeah.
good. By then, I started working with a few people here on and off, and then that was actually a time where I had time to see how I wanted to take this.
Yeah.
And I had some great coaches who I worked with at that point,
Mm-hmm.
and a good community of people who I networked virtually.
Yeah.
That really helped me to understand what the market wanted, what people expected, and I was trying to build all of that framework as well at that point. And I think that took off a lot of stress out of where I wanted to go, because I was looking more and more towards having a strategy myself
Yes.
and a proper direction. So, not too many second guesses, but there were times. But I think the community and the people who I was networking at that point really helped.
So, what drove you to go through that time and overcome those second guesses? Because the reason I ask this question, as humans, we all have doubt.
Yes.
And some people could be just starting off their journey, and there could be like, oh my God, these are like super successful people and they don't have doubt. But that's not true, because you can be, a billionaire or like century billionaire. People still have doubts, and so everyone has their coping mechanism of how to, overcome doubt. How did you do that?
So, if I say I didn't have self doubt, then that's not true.
Yes.
Absolutely. I had multiple times I did have that. I think family did support me a lot in that phase.
Mm-hmm.
And me moving to a new country itself was a huge, I wouldn't say a risk, a huge move per se,
Yes.
a huge change. So I kind of made up my mind to look at bumpy roads ahead. I knew that.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped. And my partner, my wife, she truly understood. She has seen me. When I'm at my high is when I do creative work.
Yeah.
So she was a great support, saying that don't give, just keep doing what you're doing. People really like what you're doing, so that should, a lot of people want to do,
Yeah.
but don't get that kind of acceptance from people once they put out that work. But you're getting it, so why are you doubting? So that one line actually, every time I have doubt, I keep thinking, so somebody really likes my work. What is stopping? Opportunities will come. Just hang in there.
That's amazing. That truly is amazing, and to have that thought at the back of your mind to give you that self-satisfaction and sort of certainty in a way that things are going to be fine. I, I've seen, we've discussed on multiple occasions, and I always come to you if I have a design question or I need some help, and I've seen your passion, so I know how passionate you are about your work and about designs and about creatives. What makes you so passionate about design?
To be very frank with you, let me tell you one piece of truth here. I do not have any formal education in design. I have not gone to a design school. I have not pretty much done what a lot of other people do.
Yeah.
That was something that came to me very naturally.
That's
Comes to me
amazing.
very naturally.
Yes.
Aesthetics come to me very naturally.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I hung on to it.
Okay.
Because a lot of good things come to us, but we sometimes get lost. We don't find it out. So this was one thing that I found out. This actually, it was in my 11th grade. We had an external person come in and do a program where you submit reports of, they ask you a lot of questions and questionnaires are given. That was a lady who told to my mom that your kid is very creative.
Was that the moment for you when you decided design is my thing?
I wouldn't say design at that point,
Yeah.
but again, we all look for outside validation, right?
A
Because
hundred
back
percent.
then, 25 years ago, you didn't have the kind of openness like what it is today. So
Yes.
you definitely needed somebody outside to come and tell. Um, so then after that, what I started doing was I started realizing what creativity means. What was I creative about? I started thinking through that, and in a few years I could kind of grasp things. And once I, college, I did a lot of creative work because it was a great college where they asked you what you wanted to do. There were a lot of opportunities for you to, there was something called as a window display. So they give you a space where you display products.
Yeah.
So how creative you get out there. So that was another spark after spark after spark. You keep improving, and then after I moved to Deloitte, I was working closely with the brand
Yeah.
team there. That's when I exactly knew this is what I'm good at. I'm really good at.
Yeah.
And then that gave me a great amount of exposure. And I had to present multiple times. I had to create presentations for my partner, the senior directors there.
Yeah.
So that, what it's all about then practice. You know,
Okay.
something, it's putting more and more you practice, you get better at it, and then that's how it all started.
And when you had that, moment in Deloitte, were there like pink rain falling over and flowers falling from the I'm just joking. You said something, I understood what creativity means. And I'm going to take a sidetrack because now I'm so curious to learn that. What does creativity mean?
Um, creativity, I think it's not the product that you see for me. I'm saying it because I create it.
Yeah.
It's not that. Creativity to me is the ability to think through something and then put it into paper. The ability to think
Yeah.
is what I would say. Everything else is just the next steps towards getting that thought
Yes.
out.
Yes.
The ability to think.
That's amazing. So, what's your why? I'm just trying to understand. You like design, but like, I want to go deeper into
Sure.
the layer and
Sure.
understand what's your why.
Sure. I think my why is okay. Now, last week I think I showed you a particular design that
Yeah.
we were building for you, and that design did not exist a few hours before.
Okay.
Then it existed.
Yes.
That's my why. So creating something that's already not there. That's why I do what I do. That gives me the high.
That's amazing. I'm just taking a moment to process because you said it so beautifully. Like it's so well done, and um, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
And okay, that's cool. Let's talk more about design. Design, I think is great, but it's also sort of misrepresented, and there's so many social media creators out there today. Like the number keeps growing um, at a very massive scale every single day. There's
Right.
more and more creators because everyone understands the power of content today. Everyone, they know that they want to be and they have to be on social media in order to grow their personal brand, in order to grow their business. And a lot of people get blocked with design because um, business owners or creators in general, apart from someone who went to a design school, they don't know much about social media. They don't know much about design. What's one challenge you have seen which most people end up facing?
When the word design today is very broad. That's the first understanding people need to have.
Okay.
So when they said digital marketing, or when they said just marketing,
Yeah.
20 years ago, it was pretty focused. Now, when you say marketing, it's very broad. There is
Yes.
so much. That's what's happened to design as well. So that is graphic design, that is logo design, that is information design, that is content design, that is so much.
Yes.
Right? So first thing is, what is it that you want? You cannot call everybody a graphic designer. A graphic designer is somebody who designs only a graphic.
Yeah.
Only a particular illustration. The people also called as illustrators. They only do illustrations. So it's again broken down like that. First, you have to understand who is it that you're looking to work with. or who's it that you need help with,
Yeah.
right? And if there is a logo designer, he or she specializes only in
Yes.
logos.
Yes.
And if you're expecting them to do everything, then if somebody's telling they can do everything, then that's not something that is right. You cannot do everything. As me, for example, I don't do logo design.
Yeah.
I do only content design.
Yes.
So design as such has to be understood like that.
That is very well portrayed out there, and there's so many. Even in marketing, we see like people come and they're like, "What do you do? Digital marketing?" But I'm like, "No, we're an advertising agency,"
Yes.
because it's like, how is that different from marketing? And I'm like, it's a small piece of the overall umbrella of digital marketing.
All right.
And then design is another break, and then you break that down into like so many different pieces, as you said: logo design, illustrations, information design, content design. Again, there's so many creators out there, and it's become super. And thanks to technologies like Canva, especially, like I love Canva.
Yeah.
It's become super simple to create a design. Where 3 years ago, if I wanted to do a design, I would have no idea of how the software is used, how to plug and play something. I started on Canva, and I'm like, oh my god, for a person like me, I can now create great designs using Canva, without having to be a tech pro with an Adobe software.
Right.
And there's so many people using Canva, which is amazing. Where do people go wrong while designing in Canva, and how can they make their designs better?
So if you're I use Canva a lot because all my clients use Canva. So I've been using it intensely for the last 2+ years now. So I pretty much know the in and out of it. So as long as people use the designs who are non-designers who are trying to build something for them, as long as they don't tweak whatever the template that's given there too much, because it's put together for a certain reason, right? Meaning white space is taken into consideration, the colors, the contrast, all of that has already been taken into consideration. So if you're just going to use only that, then it's good. If you're trying to tweak too much of a template there, then you're beating the purpose, and that's when things go wrong.
Okay, so stick to the templates.
Yeah, try to stick. That's yeah, because there's such a wide range of templates. But let me also add some value to the viewers here. Before you choose a template, understand what is the audience that you're trying to talk to, what is it that you're trying to convey, what age group that you're talking to, and if you can put down all of this, understand thought behind. Thought forward, and then look for a particular design. You'll find really good designs where you don't have to tweak.
Okay.
All good-looking designs are not good designs.
Yes, I've learned that talking to you more and more. When you talk, you're very clear in terms of what information you're putting out there in front of someone. You're clear in what you want, and you're clear in other aspects. And clarity is very important, because clarity gives you power, because clarity gives you direction, clarity gives you focus. And especially in design, clarity is very important, because if you don't have a clarity on what you're looking for, then it's a dancing bear jumping off everywhere, and more like a dancing monkey who's jumping off everywhere. What do you think about clarity? And let me expand more first. Even in business, clarity is very important. And very few people have clarity on what they're doing, what they want, and most importantly, why they want something, which is why we have this podcast as well, because sharing stories, I want to share how people found why they do something and why they're doing it, because they got clarity. So I'm like, okay, how can people hear to the speakers here and get more clarity in their life in terms of what they want, why they want it? And then we can decide how, and the other stuff which people generally are stuck in.
Great.
Do you have any tip on people being more clear in terms of what they want, and if there's any steps that they can take to get to that level of clarity that you and I share?
Sure. So whenever clients reach out to me for branding, most of them look only at the vanity side of it, and they don't look at anything else. Vanity branding is literally of no use after a point. So that's a reason for you, as you said, clarity, intent, purpose.
Yeah.
So your brand has to be purpose driven. They should have clarity. So that's why any client who comes to me, we always start with a brand strategy session.
Okay.
Very intense brand strategy session where we clearly understand who they are, who their customers are, where they are, and how they could reach out to them. So this process, we actually cut down all the distraction.
Okay.
A good brand is subtraction of distraction.
What are some questions you typically ask that help people get more clarity?
Sure. First, we have to be clear of what is the expertise that you bring to the table. First, it's only about you. It's not even about your clients or the audience that you're going to serve. It's not even that. First, you have to be clear what your expertise is. First.
Yes.
So once that is there, then you talk about who could be the potential audience or clients who would get benefited out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the next step. The third, what is the kind of transformation that would happen if your audience or clients look at your content or take your services? What is the transformation? Is it big enough? Mm-hmm. Is it good enough? Is it value driven?
Yeah.
Good to understand that. Then how much of the transformation is, if we understand that, then we go on to see where their customers are, what do they do on a day-to-day, what are they reading, what are they seeing, all of that. We just go and then understand that. And then we come and see how we can then plug your expertise to theirs, in their minds, in their needs, and in the value that they can receive from you. It's a step-by-step process.
That's amazing. I think that's a great great set of questions, and asking the right questions is so much important in business, in design, in life in general, because most of the times we're stuck asking the wrong questions. We're stuck with a problem, and we're like, I've got this problem. So all our focus and questions that we are asking are related to the problem, while we should be focusing and asking questions based on the solution. So guys, asking, the reason I said this is because asking the right questions is crucial to get clarity and find your why, find your purpose, find out why you want to do stuff and what you want to do. Because if you don't have that clarity, you're going to be like a dancing monkey who's going to be trying out 10 different things and still be unfulfilled and sort of unhappy. You can still be successful, but success does not mean fulfillment. And what we really want in life is fulfillment, because I think if we have fulfillment, success will come running behind us. What's one growth tip you have for content creators or people who are creating content out there that you can give to them that can help them better perform on social media?
Okay. So one is the content part and one is the design part. I first address the content part. So creating content and posting it every day is very, very tough. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It needs tremendous amount of focus. More than so, the why it is tough is until you understand who you're serving, why you're serving, and having clarity over that. Mm-hmm. So make sure you have that. Yeah. Then the flow of content is so much better. Mm-hmm. Right. So then you're able to create value and then share that value. Okay. Right. So then coming to the design part of it, now you've created good content. Now we have to put it into a certain design using Canva or any other tool. Yeah. You'll have to understand the basic design fundamentals. Mm-hmm. Again, design is complicated when you're trying to do everything inside the design. Yeah. Learning the design fundamentals will clearly tell you it's again subtraction. So you'll only be having 3 or 4 or 5 routes to take. Yeah. But there are infinite ideas that you can make out of that. Yeah. Right? So design thinking is one of the items that I teach in my program. Mm-hmm. That I've seen after the program, the same people who were doing so-called not so good designs started designing it themselves from a scale of
Wow.
1 to, so on a scale of 10, they were probably at 1 and 2. Now they're
Yeah.
at 7. That's
Yeah.
a huge jump.
Yes.
And that gives me a
And
lot
how
of.
much time does it take from people to get from 1 to 2 to 7?
So my program is about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
In about 3 weeks, they are from 1 to 5 definitely in 3 weeks, and if they are very committed, in about 4 weeks they'll be up to 7.
So wow, that's a very short amount of time
Yes.
and especially if you want to learn the skill of design, which can take years to master.
Correct.
What does entrepreneurship mean to you?
I have been born in an entrepreneurial family.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship is pretty much the only thing that I've really known and felt and lived and seen and exposed to.
Yeah.
I really like being an entrepreneur. More than just saying the word entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur gives you the ability, gives you the opportunity to reach to a wider audience.
Mm-hmm.
Doing things yourself for a wider audience. If no offenses to anybody employed, and I have great respect for them, but if you are doing your own thing, you're not restricted by anything. Your vision can get bigger and bigger as you also grow, and that's the power of being an entrepreneur. And I just love being that.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here today. It was a pleasure, understanding and learning more about your story, what drives you, and what keeps you going in day and night. Thank you so much for being here, and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Abhinav. It was great being in this podcast. I thoroughly enjoyed. You had some great questions for me, and I think the flow was awesome. And thank you so much for inviting me. Pleasure knowing you, and wishing you all the best in your entrepreneurial journey as well.
Well, likewise, thank you so much. Thank you, all the viewers, for watching the podcast today. I really appreciate, and I'm very grateful for every one of you who stayed through the end and watched our entire podcast. Hope you got some little tidbits of inspiration for your journey and for you to self-coach you and to reflect on something on your life, because that's all we are all about. We're all about spreading inspiration and helping people create their lives on their terms and live fulfilled. Thank you so much. Be limitless today, and I will see you next Wednesday.